Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Superstars of Wrestling review series for the 26th of November 1994. We got a few more of these available here. There is a hype package of Bob Backlund being about to win the WWF Championship. Um, Big things there as Backlund winning the championship for the 3 days as a 44, 45-year-old man. Pretty big thing at the time, and ultimately managing to do what he can. Then we move on to the Man on a Mission deal here. Man on a Mission, of course, is Mo and Mabel Oscar on the outside. Man on a Mission, certainly not having moved completely into being full heels yet, but that is coming. Of course, Men on a Mission also kind of a backdrop for Mabel to have a better run of things, for lack of a better term. They defeat Dwayne Gill and Barry Hardy. Also, they announced the uh, announcement that Bret Hart has been pulled um, from the rematch with Bob Backlund due to injury, and this is the night that Diesel beats Backlund for the WWF Championship, of course, launching Diesel's run. Anyhow, Man on a Mission, Dwayne Gill, Barry Hardy, both Gill and Hardy, pretty basic guys here as far as enhancement talents, and they are pushed pretty heavily. Basic things as far as that match goes. A lot to go behind is basic stuff. Mo, the more athletic. Mabel here for the weight of it, and the baby face team does manage to get a big splash and kind of a modified bulldog body slam also by Mabel there. Mabel continuing to be a pretty basic guy here, and getting, Mabel using his own partner as a weapon. Hype for the Survivor Series. Um, Going into things, Chuck Norris being the special guest official is a big deal there. Diesel has been named the number one contender for the championship, although that was never wonderfully explained. There is a post match from the Survivor Series with Mr. Backlund looking at the belt, saying that it is unfair for him to have to defend against Diesel. Um, Says he's not going to be laborious or loquacious with the fans, but that Mr. Backlund has waited too long and he feels as though the politics are against him. Diesel basically is yelling at Bob Backlund, saying he's over the hill, but that Diesel is going to run on the WWF is going to run on Diesel power, and off we go. Pretty basic stuff here, and ultimately Bam Bam Bigelow up next. Bigelow, who is a member of the Million Dollar Corporation, although not as successful in the coming months as he would generally be. DiBiase a little bit upset he and when he loses his match here. British Bulldog still. This is the November Sweeps edition. British Bulldog is the opponent of none other than Bam Bam Bigelow here, and basic match, though it were nothing necessarily worth writing home about here in terms of a decent match. Reverse decision with the interference, the Bulldog managing to be pretty consistent, also pretty aggressive and basic there. Um, so I mean that's kind of what moves forward here in a reasonable direction, as it were, and ultimately, I mean, the match is relatively one-sided. Certainly, two power guys back and forth. Bigelow trying to take every shot that he possibly can. Irish whips by Bigelow. Bigelow not exactly happy with things. Roll up attempted by the Bulldog, doesn't get everything he wants there. DiBiase trips the Bulldog with things, but gets caught up, and the reverse decision there. DiBiase almost gets fired by Bigelow, or Bigelow is at least up in his face. DiBiase flashes $100 bills and has to buy his way out of the aggression. Event centered by the Charlie Min. Min only around for less than a year. Not exactly the best of situations. Talking about Bob Holly and Jeff Jarrett going at it around house shows. Also Owen Hart and Bret Hart, Owen Hart and Jim Neidhart around the loop, and again the Undertaker and Yokozuna having brawled around at various stations to trying to get people to come out to house shows on a more regular basis. Doesn't exactly go the way that anybody plans as far as that's concerned, but at least there is an attempt, and ultimately Kwang facing off against Ben Jordan. Kwang, of course, Savio Vega under the mask, and Ben Jordan, a relatively consistent enhancement talent, Kwang in the black and red mask and bodysuit outfit. Harvey Whippleman is out there with him. Kwang doing a bunch of martial arts maneuvers, including the up and over spin kick, again giving him basic advantage here. That is a quick match there. And then you go to Bob Sparkplug Holly. Bob Holly, of course, managing to be a major force in the Attitude Era, but still finding himself here. Dan DiMaggio gets beaten by Bob Holly. Knee drop off the top rope with that. Basic maneuvers by Bob Holly, still doing the race car gimmick at this point. Not that there's anything necessarily wrong with the gimmick, but at the time, every guy had to have a profession. Shoulder tackles and other basic things there. And Bob Holly managing to get where he can get. And pretty basic maneuvers. Also, that top rope knee drop is a pretty basic deal. Henry O. Godwin, aka Hog, at the Hog Pen, basically talking about how people think hogs are mean and nasty, but he's the meanest and nastiest of them all. Then we see Jim Cornette out. Jim Cornette with the Heavenly Bodies, Jimmy Del Rey, and Tom Pritchard. Cornette talking about their best interest. By 1994, though, it seems that Vince has lost a good bit of interest in the Heavenly Bodies. Short clothesline by Del Rey, Dr. Bomb by Dr. Tom Pritchard. At this point, the Heavenly Bodies, one of the best tag teams in the Smoky Mountains, is being wasted in a tag team feud with the Bushwhackers on house shows. Then we go to another in the series of matches. We got Aldo Montoya after Big Daddy Cool hype, and also the hype for the video game as well. But anyway, Aldo Montoya, which is later PJ Walker, which also would be known as Just Incredible, facing off against an enhancement talent. The enhancement talent of note here is Reno Riggins. Reno Riggins, regular at the time with that particular role. Certainly, he's kind of here and continues to be here for the next little while. Short shot by Riggins. Riggins also managing to hit a run there. Bulldog by Aldo Montoya from the second rope on the inside. Luna Vachon talking about the hype for Bull Nakano, and we move into next week. Also a vignette with IRS talking about death and taxes being inevitabilities. We'll close with that on that note right after this.